What's going on, everybody? Ivan Temokov here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. If this is your first time tuning in, again, my name is Ivan Temokov, founder and CEO of Razor Sharp Digital, the world's #1 human marketing agency, where we work with brands and entrepreneurs, helping them forge their digital footprint using multi-channel marketing, emotional engagement, and human-to-human business practices. I want to talk to you about something today. And why should you listen, by the way, to what I have to say? Let me explain to you. I've been in the digital space for 26 years now. I have worked with multi-million-dollar companies. During the last 4 years, I have focused on building my company, Razor Sharp Digital, that is now thriving and working with multi-million-dollar companies. Having said that, I've been in the social space for a very long time. Does anybody even remember MySpace? I'm sure some of you do. Does anybody remember AOL Chat? Maybe. Let me know in the comment section below. Let's talk about something that is very, very polarizing and something that is extremely misconstrued. And that is social media the problem or are you the problem? And most people will say, oh, it's social media's fault. It's social media's fault that people are spreading fake news. It's social media's fault that politics are going sideways. It's social media's fault that my business is not thriving. It's social media's fault that I ended up getting a divorce with my wife or my husband. It's social media's fault, and the list of blaming keeps going on and on and on and on and on. You see, most people have the tendency of blaming social media for their own deficiencies. Social media is actually just a platform that allows you to have a voice. It allows you to use it as a communication tool, as a community cultivation tool, and it also helps expose who you really are. And that is probably one of the biggest misconceptions that a lot of people don't understand. Let me explain. If you're arrogant, if you're a total prick, if you have a poor attitude, if you treat people poorly, social media is only going to expose that in a long period of time. It might not be in the beginning, but long term, it will truly expose your real personality and characteristics. And that is where I think a lot of people misconstrue social media because they are quick to judge social media and blame social media for their own deficiencies. Look, social media is at no fault here. The mistakes that you make as a human being, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, are your own. They're nobody else's. There is really absolutely no causation to social media as to why these deficiencies are happening. And this is what a lot of people don't understand because they want to blame something. As human beings, it's easier for us to blame something, to say, no, it's not my fault. It's social media's fault. It's so and so's fault. Because it's easier that way. It's easier because people don't want to take responsibility. People don't want to be accountable. Because it's always easy to be on the offense. Sure, everybody can be on the offense in business, in life, but to be on the defense is where a lot of people are incapable of being. And so that's why it's easier for them to turn around and blame social media for their deficiencies. Social media exposes the real you. I'm going to be honest with you. Social media has been probably one of the best things since sliced bread for me in the last 15 to 20 years alone that I remember. I remember in 2007, so 13 years ago, almost 14 years ago is when I signed up for Facebook. It was about the same time that I signed up for Twitter. I remember, now it's been over 10 years that I've been on Instagram. I remember the day that Instagram launched. I signed up for my YouTube channel in 2009. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's been probably one of the best things that I've done, but it's because I have leveraged social media the way it was intended to be leveraged. And this is the mistake that most people make, is their inability to leverage social media in the way that it was intended. Hence the word social media. What social media does, it exposes the real you, your real personality, your characteristics, your interests. And this happens over a long period of time. It doesn't happen immediately because social media, the social world, the digital world, is just an amplified version of our reality. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. For example, if you lie to people on social media the way you lie to people in real life, it's only a matter of time before people label you as a liar. It's just how it works. It might take some time until people get to know you, the real you. But in long periods of time, that will happen. And so that's exactly what social media does. It exposes the real you. And a lot of people are afraid of social media, blame social media because they have their own deficiencies. And you can only fake for so long. I think this is where a lot of people are misconstrued. People tend to hide behind social media profiles and handles as if that gives them some kind of authority, some kind of gratification. It's nothing more than an illusion. That's all that it is. There's way too many people right now on Facebook, especially on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on YouTube. And I just heard about a new platform called Parler yesterday, which is supposed to be more of a free speech oriented social media network where there's really no censorship, and people don't have to worry about, being censored about what they say, because let's face it, right now Facebook is catching a lot of heat from a political standpoint, simply because Mark Zuckerberg is in a disagreement with President Trump, and a lot of the things that really are just happening in politics. But going back to my point that I'm trying to make here is just that hiding behind a social media profile and a social media handle is only a temporary initiative. In the long term, people will find out the real you, who you really are. And that's the beauty about social media. What's ironic about, hiding behind social media profiles and handles is that it reminds me of some former bosses of mine that I used to work for 6, 7, 8 years ago, 9, 10 years ago, even in the agency world. And I shit you not, these people despise, probably to this day, social media because they're afraid to be transparent on social media. They're afraid to be vulnerable on social media. They're afraid because they know that the world is going to judge them. And that's exactly what's going to happen on social media. If you are hiding behind a social media profile, a social media handle, because you have something to hide and you're unwilling to be transparent with the rest of the world, people will find out about it. I guarantee you that. You can only play cat and mouse for so long. And this is what a lot of people are still afraid of. Because they know, especially if you are a CEO of a fairly large company, you're the captain of the ship and the spotlight is on you, then you're going to catch a lot of backlash for stuff like that. If you have things to hide, think of Elon Musk, for example, the founder of Tesla and SpaceX. He's constantly in the spotlight. He's the modern day version of Iron Man. And there's a lot of good things that people say about him, and there's a lot of bad things that people say about him. And that comes with the territory. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you have to understand that social media creates transparency. And you cannot hide behind a social media profile and a social media handle, because in due time, people are going to find out the real you. And that's the beauty about social media. And so this is important to understand, especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner. Please be transparent. Please be direct with people. Don't be in hiding. Don't put on a front face. Don't be someone that you're not. And this is what a lot of people are doing in the social media space. I actually enjoy this because, it's funny. In fact, actually, about a week ago, just to tell you a story with you, I've got about on average about 50 plus friend requests on my Facebook profile, and I vet every single person, right? Meaning that, I accept the friend request, I reach out to them, the messenger, thanking them for sending me a friend request. After all, there was a reason why you sent me a friend request, right? Although that's not always true, believe it or not. And what's really funny is I had someone a week ago that, I messaged him and it took like 2 days and the guy never got back to me. So I was like, okay, it's a little weird. And then, well, not weird, actually very common to sort of say. And 2 days go by and he responds and says, yeah, I see you constantly in the comment section on so-and-so's group. And so I wanted to send you a friend request. Like, cool. He's like, well, I've been so busy right now. I just didn't have time to respond back. First of all, if you're too busy, don't send me friend requests. And that is absolutely counterintuitive because you obviously had the time to send me a friend request, but you don't have the time to make conversation. And that's just said, it is so easy to depict fake people on Facebook nowadays that you don't have to be a rocket scientist to do that. Excuse me. And again, do not hide behind a social media profile. Do not hide behind a social media handle. Have good intentions. Have good intentions and then follow through on those good intentions with action. That is how you get things. That is how you cultivate a network. That is how you surround yourself with like-minded people. And honestly, there are only a few in between, honestly. I mean, in such a crowded digital world, social world that we live in, it's actually easier than ever before to depict fake people. But you have to understand that transparency in social media is important. Vulnerability is important. Building trust in social media is important. So if you can't do those things, then you maybe need to learn how to do those things and stop blaming social media and saying that, oh, it's social media's fault that, so-and-so blocked me, or it's social media's fault that my business is not thriving. No, it has something to do with certain types of actions that you have taken that have resulted in that. That is a key component that I want to talk about. And again, I mentioned that already, but just to reiterate this, social media is a communication tool. It's a lead generation tool. It is a community cultivation tool. The way you use social media is what's going to determine the results and the outcome that you get from it. If you misuse social media, you're going to get bad results, bad outcomes. And that's when people start blaming social media because their own deficiency have to be blamed on somebody. And again, it's not social media's fault. It's probably something that you did. And what you have to do is backtrack, reverse engineer the steps that you took to understand the outcome that it resulted in. And again, don't blame social media for your deficiencies. Because we all make mistakes. I make mistakes. I'll be the first to admit it. In fact, each day I make at least 10 different mistakes. And honestly, I live for that one single epic win because I know that that one epic win is coming. But you see, that's what a lot of people don't understand too, is that they're afraid to acknowledge the fact that they make mistakes. So it's easier to go out on social media and start venting and telling the rest of the world that social media sucks, or this person sucks, or this brand sucks, or someone's at fault, when in reality, it's your own actions that have resulted in the outcome that you are currently facing. So I want you guys to think about that, okay? And just to recap real quick, people have a tendency of blaming social media for their own deficiencies. Please don't be that person. Social media exposes the real you. Maybe not right now, maybe not tomorrow, but long term it will. People tend to hide behind social media profiles and handles. Don't go in hiding. People will find out the real you sooner or later. And use social media as a communication tool, as a lead generation tool, as a community cultivation tool. Hence the word social. Be social, talk to people, build relationships. Social media works. It can help you generate more prospects, more customers for your business. It can help you forge powerful relationships that will last for a long period of time. But remember, you have to be the real you and stop being the fake you on social media. Stop blaming social media for your own deficiencies. If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to share it with someone. Again, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Please drop it in the comment section below. You see a red ticker below that's currently scrolling. You can find out more about me, my story, my company. Also, what I do and how I help businesses with social media, storytelling, digital marketing, and basically helping them forge their digital footprint so you too can succeed in this challenging and saturated and crowded digital world. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it, guys. Hope you're having an amazing, holy shit, what is it, Wednesday today? Happy hump day, y'all. Before I sign off, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.